Hey, what's going on, guys? Aaron here. So in this Celsius update, I'm going to touch on a couple things. The first is the missing 1.2 or so billion dollars that I touched on in my last video. There is a statement here from the debtors with a new chart explaining exactly how they got to that amount of money. And I'm then going to touch on a couple things people are receiving regarding Venmo and PayPal, Coinbase, different phishing emails that people are getting as well. Very important to be very, very cautious right now. So the first thing we have right here is a new document that was submitted to the court, basically explaining this issue that I and many other people were noticing. They say that creditors like myself were trying to make sense of the last coin report that I touched on again in my last video and how that made sense with the plan that we got here, where it shows this 57.9% distribution and also showing the amount of claims and also mostly the amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum that there is to distribute. So there is good news at the end of this tunnel, and I'll explain to you what that means at the end of this video. But they start out by saying that the estimated size of the unsecured claims pool was around $4.2 billion when the plan was confirmed. So that is right here. That is this chart that I showed again in my last video, where right here, total remaining claims was around $4.225 billion. They say here that the class claim settlement increased the claim of any account holder who did not timely opt out by 5%. So that is something that we know. Basically, it gives us an extra buffer, essentially allowing us to get 105% of our claim. And here they said that has the effect of increasing the unsecured claims pool by approximately $200 million. So that would increase the claims pool from about 2.25 to about 2.45, right? $200 million. But so far, we still see the total claims to be around 4.9. So this additional $200 million in the claim pool doesn't really account for the additional $700 million, at least from what I can see. So here they say that the illustrative waterfall only shows how much we'll be getting back in the initial distribution to creditors. There will be subsequent distributions that reflect the proceeds associated with the sale of remaining illiquid assets. So that is actually right here. It says excludes potential future distributions from illiquid assets and release of reserves. So this is really what I want to focus on in this video. What are these illiquid assets and the release of reserves? The reserves being, I believe, where most of the value will come from. And this is actually very good, and I can just touch on this now. So we will be getting more than 57.9% in crypto, or I should say we should get more money down the road. I don't know if it's going to come through crypto or through US dollars. We don't really know at this point. So that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing, which I'll touch on again a little bit later in this video as I get deeper into this document. Here it says the debtors expect future distributions as other disputed and unliquidated claims are resolved. There are $500 million of disputed and unliquidated litigations and damages reflected in the waterfall that the debtors expect will be reduced over time as those claims proceed through the adjudication process with the bankruptcy court. All right, so what does this mean? There are $500 million worth of claims. So lots of people and institutions decided to object and basically not agree with the plan, or people decided to submit their own claim to the court and say that, no, Celsius owes me way more than what they're claiming to owe me. For example, they owe me millions of dollars worth of damages that are beyond just the coins. There are those claims, and Celsius says that there are $500 million worth of those claims that cannot be distributed. And this is really where I believe the majority of the distributions will come from down the road. And again, they say that the debtors expect those disputed and unliquidated claims will be reduced, and for the amounts initially reserved to be distributed through subsequent distributions to the remaining creditors with allowed claims. So again, more money will come down the road. Now they give this updated chart right here, and they go through where this $1.13 billion difference is from the December 20th coin report to what we are getting back right now. And I want to jump over to this document right here that was put together by Tony and Rupi and others in the Celsius community, mostly on Twitter. They broke down exactly all the crypto we had and went over right here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. These different deductions that are described right here in this chart. So they are holding back, again, a lot of money. They are holding back Bitcoin and ETH in illiquid assets, primarily for institutional loans. Tony in this document says, would be nice to get a breakdown of this. I completely agree. $156 million is a lot of money to not know exactly what is actually happening. Next, they say they are holding back $156 million for custody assets. Tony here says this is unequivocally a BS number, and taking a look right here on Twitter, we can see here that 98 or almost 99% of creditors accepted, and that's 87 million plus 52, so about $137 million worth of crypto that most people were already able to withdraw off the platform. So why are they holding back $156 million, which again is even more money than all the custody claims that they have? So that number doesn't make sense to me. 87 plus 52, even adding the ones that are going to reject it, so another $1 million, and then someone that withhold claims, they're going to get some of their coins back in kind as well, so another $5 million. That does not equal 156. That is less than 156. So Tony and others on Twitter say it is impossible that this $156 million held back because of custody is accurate. It does not add up, and that's what I'm seeing as well. So next they have the mining co capitalization, basically how much of our money is going into funding this new company, which I'm not a fan of, but what's done is done here. That is not a surprise. $225 million. Wind down budget, basically paying people to just finish the job of bankruptcy, $70 million. These numbers are not surprising, though. We kind of already knew these numbers would exist. Litigation admin budget, $55 million. This is a known number. We knew this one for a while. Here we have ETH monetized for fiat distributions. These are going to be people that are paid out, or corporations mostly, that are going to be paid out in fiat or US dollars. We have $165 million for priority admin claims and emergency uses. And Tony here thinks that this should be explained further, and it seems excessive. I would agree. I mean, these are insane numbers. $165 million is a ton of money that we are just trusting that they are going to do what's right, and they are going to give the money back that they don't use. The problem is that if they've allocated $165 million for emergency uses, who's going to stop them from using all that money at this point? Nobody. And that's, it's very annoying, but that's where we are, and we are basically out of bankruptcy, so I don't want to get too annoyed at this right now. And finally, we have $17 million being held back for reserves and or holdbacks for loan repayments. But that is basically people that are going to be paying Celsius $17 million, and then they're going to be getting back, I believe, Bitcoin or ETH. There is that option if you had a loan to reduce your taxes, basically to send dollars to Celsius, and then they will send you back either Bitcoin or ETH. I believe that's what it is. So this should net out to zero because there shouldn't be any holdbacks for that. So that's where they get this $1.113 billion difference. And when I did the math in my last video, I came up with 1.122. So pretty darn close. I guess they did cover, in their opinion, I guess where all this money went, but a lot of that money will come back to us. I do also have an issue still with the initial distribution. I did some math in my last video based on the prices of Bitcoin and ETH on May 31st versus the prices here that they locked our distributions in at around $43,000 Bitcoin and $2,500 ETH. And from my napkin math, we should be getting around a 64% liquid recovery versus a 57%. So I think we are still off by maybe 5 or 6% on the front end. And what Tony and others came up with is maybe around a 9% return down the road. So that is what I am hoping for. We get around, let's say conservatively 7 to 9% back over the next coming months, but realistically over the next 1 to 2 years. So that would cover the holdbacks and the reserves, but then they say again, excludes potential future distributions from illiquid assets. But that's a little confusing because here they do give 6.4% for illiquid asset recovery. So it's still very confusing, guys, but I am pretty certain, and other people are certain too, that more money will be coming down the road. And that's very, very good. So hopefully we get an extra 8, 9, maybe 10% more crypto down the road. But again, that could take months, if not years, for that to happen. So I want to change the tune, talk a little bit about the emails that people are getting right now. So a lot of people have been getting emails from Stretto with their claim code to go ahead and get their ETH and Bitcoin out of either PayPal or Venmo. So this is what the email should look like. So people are seeing this picture inside of their Venmo and or PayPal app. We are seeing this as well inside of PayPal, and then people are getting their distributions that way. I would say that most people haven't received the email to get their crypto yet. So if you are still in that boat and you have not gotten your email, do not worry. We still have a long time before you would need to submit a ticket and then work with them to figure out what happened. So let's talk about some phishing emails or some screenshots I've been seeing floating around. This looks incredibly fake already. Proceed to verification. That's fake. And if they don't have your name, that is also a very, very big red flag as well. If you are on Telegram, Telegram is known for scams and fake people messaging you. And this person said that they were contacted by a fake Telegram support person, Celsius Network _support, telling them to email some weird Gmail address to get your crypto. And then they have this weird username. So this one is really, really obvious. But what scammers really take advantage of are people that are desperate, people that know something is coming, and people that are really anxious to get their crypto and they don't want to miss out. So they take advantage of FOMO, fear of missing out, fear of missing an email, fear in general, and they try to get you in an anxious and vulnerable state where you make a mistake. This is also a fake email as well. It says withdraw now. There is no button. There is no button that will say withdraw now, guys. Very, very fake. So just be very aware of all the emails and messages that you get on Telegram and Twitter. Anywhere you are vulnerable to being phished and attacked and scammed. So just be very, very cautious of that. So guys, that is it for the video. Thanks for watching. And I just wanted to make an updated video about this missing crypto. They did try to come up with the missing $1.1 billion, but still some of those numbers are looking kind of fishy, like these priority admin claims for emergency uses. We have the custody assets that don't really add up as well, and just little things like that. In addition to the initial distribution, I think should be at least 3, 4, 5% higher based on my math. But anyway, a lot of you have been getting crypto already, which is awesome. And the rest of us will be getting crypto soon, whether that's from PayPal Venmo, from Coinbase, or we get an email from Stretto saying that you will be getting a US dollar check in the mail. So some people have been getting that email as well. Just again, be very, very cautious of who is sending the email. Be incredibly cautious about clicking links. Do not enter your passphrase for like MetaMask, or if you use another wallet like that, do not give them any personal info. Make sure it is just the absolute right link and the right address. I really, really do not want to hear anybody get screwed right now when we are coming out of this process. And last thing before I go, if you haven't joined my Celsius email list, you can go ahead and do so in the link below. And also, if you need a hardware wallet, I am a big fan of Tangem. This is an unopened box, and I'm going to do an unboxing of this soon. I did a video a little while ago about Tangem, and they are a really, really secure and really cool hardware wallet. So when you get your crypto into PayPal or Venmo or Coinbase, yeah, you could leave it there if you want, but then again, you're trusting another third party and hope they don't go bankrupt. I would encourage you guys, and definitely not a suggestion, but I would encourage you guys to think about getting a hardware wallet. If you already have one, great. If you don't have one, you can pick up a Tangem and you can get 10% if you want to use my link in the description. All right, guys, that is it for the video. Thanks for watching. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.